Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. We're going to go ahead and do an updated overview of Outlaw Troopers. This is brought to you by FGL. This is a space strategy style game that's web-based where you can go ahead and play it online. It's on the Wax blockchain. It doesn't take too much to get started, and there's a lot that's involved in it. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and give you a high level overview. I do have some other videos on my channel that'll dive a little bit deeper in there. But if you stick around till the end of the video, we'll actually go ahead and give you my rating of the game. This is a new thing that I'm doing in 2024, where I'm going through and doing a review on all Wax games and providing a gaming entertainment ratings just to try and help you. So if you like space strategy style games, this may be the right game for you. Go ahead and stick around. I'll walk you through the game. I'll tell you a little bit about both the studio that runs it and about the game itself, and again, give you my rating at the end of it. Before we jump into the video, I know I have to do everyone's least favorite part of the video and let you know this disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Please make sure you do your own research before you jump into any project. Don't take my word or anything that's said in this video as financial advice or advice in any way. I'm just a gamer playing a game and reviewing games as part of this. I am not telling you to jump into any project or anything along those lines. Do your own research, make sure it's right for you. Go ahead and pause this video and read this thoroughly before we jump into it. All right, so let's get back to the video. Now that we've gone through that, let's go ahead and dive into some of the details, at least some of the background of Outlaw Troopers. In order to go ahead and get to the website that I just showed you previously in the video, go to outlawtroopers.io. Also have a link in the description down below so you can check it out. It currently is only on the Wax blockchain, but there has been some talk about expanding to other blockchains here in 2024. But as of the time of this recording, they are only on Wax for this game. Again, space strategy style game, completely web-based, so there's no client that you have to download, and you can play from a device. It gets a little bit tricky when you have a small phone with some of the missions that you have to go ahead and run, the encounters. Those are a little bit tougher, but you can technically maintain your game as far as the other parts go from your phone. You just don't have full access to play the game from your phone. It's been around since mid-2022. It's again comes from the studio FGL, which we'll talk about a little bit more here in a second. There is no free-to-play option, so you're going to go ahead and need some NFTs to go ahead and play. And I'll talk about also some entry points that, depending on you and your situation, may be right for you if you want to go ahead and check it out. Also, currently, there is no PvP within the game, so be aware of that. And it is seasonal based. So what seasonal based means is the season runs for several weeks. Once that season's over, they clear it all out other than your NFTs. Obviously, you get to keep that. But as far as you progress in the game goes, that gets cleared out and you go ahead and start over. The nice thing with that is you also have the leaderboard. You get prizes, there's seasonal rewards throughout the season and at the end of the season. So there are some benefits with the seasonal if you enjoy that kind of style of game. So let's talk about FGL here for a second. FGL has been around for a very long period of time. They did start out with mobile and I guess iOS and overall mobile games where they focused on that for a number of years and actually put out quite a few and managed quite a few of those games. They have come here to the Wax blockchain, and they are currently managing a number of games on the Wax blockchain. We have Cosmic Clash, Mecha World, Outlaw Troopers, we got Blockchain Heroes, Machiavellic they're working on that's going to be dropping here in 2024. So there's a lot of things that they're involved with. The neat thing about it is all the games share the same token. The other thing that they do that's very unique compared to other games that's out there is some NFTs do go over cross gaming. Some of the NFTs from Outlaw Troopers go to Mecha World and Cosmic Clash, and vice versa. There's actually a number of NFTs from Cosmic Clash and Mecha World that do fit into the Outlaw Trooper games, and we'll briefly talk about those when we actually go into the game itself. Now, if you're going out there to take a look to try and find the collection on the Atomic Hub, I just wanted to quick do this. You're not searching for FGL within the collections. You're actually going to go ahead and search for Outlaw Troopers. It's game specific with this studio. So you go ahead in the collections, type Outlaw Troopers, and it's going to bring this up. There are a number of different options that you can follow in order to really get started in the game. Again, all depending on your situation. I'm going to briefly cover these simply because there's other stuff I want to cover, and I do have a full other video on this. But I'll focus on 3 different ways to start, either the beginner, an advanced, and a pro setup, depending on, again, on your situation and your ability to go ahead and jump into a game. We'll keep it at that. From a beginner perspective, you're going to at least want these two. The Wormful is a common NFT that you can get on the secondary market, and Quits. Technically, you only need the Wormful. That'll give you access to go ahead and start running missions. The Quits give you some additional help and also allow you to run the robotic encounters, which those two together will help you build up your account, especially from an early stage. Now, this is not a world beater setup by any means. This allows you to go ahead and test the game. You are not going to rank high in the leaderboards. You're going to go ahead and feel out the game, see if it's something that you enjoy, and then you can go ahead and expand from there. The next setup is going to go ahead and be the advanced. That's where you're going to go ahead and compete just a little bit more. You may get the low level prizes on the leaderboard. You may get some other benefits as you go through the game itself, but this is the advanced setup. Again, I'm not going to walk through all the different ones. You'll see some recognizable names, but essentially what this is, it's Quits plus some higher rarity NFTs. That give you a little bit more bonus as you're going through it. And then if you're a pro, if you're looking to dive in, you like everything you see both on this video and whatever other research that you've done, and you want to dive in full force on Outlaw Troopers, there's a pro setup that comes with some legendary items that you can go ahead, and this will really allow you to compete at an early level. You may not get top 5, so understand that. Some of the people that have been playing the game in top 5, they have some elite setups. But this will help you compete probably in the top 20, top 25, and really allow you to get started in the game and really get some of those rewards and continue to build your account. So you can go through this. Feel free to pause at any part of those if you want to take a screenshot of those. This is just a suggested kind of a guidance. So please don't take this as set in stone. Any of these setups, please, it's just something that we work through as more of a guideline rather than a set in stone approach to the game, but at least gives you an idea of what you may need in order to be successful if you're looking to rank near the top of the leaderboards each of the seasons. All right, let's go ahead and dive into the game itself. I'm not going to go through every little detail, but I'm going to go ahead and give you an idea of the encounters, the overall cycle of the game that will help you continue to move forward. There's a number of important parts. The first thing that you're going to see here is missions. This is where your NFT characters can go out there and start earning you different things. They can earn you everything from credits to ores to gears, which are all incredibly important. You need keys to go ahead and run encounters. You can go ahead and reduce your corruption, because if your corruption gets too high, it'll actually impact the results of what you get from the missions. Robot parts, if you get 100 of those, they can be converted into quits. So that if just by playing the game, you can go ahead and get additional NFTs. Virtual mechas are going to be critical as far as the life cycle of the game goes, which we'll talk about that a little bit here more in a second. And arcs are kind of like missions that give you rewards if you go ahead and complete those. So you can go ahead and have your NFTs. If you only have that one Wormful going out there, you'll probably only be able to focus on one of the missions. But if you start getting at higher setups and you have more NFTs that are involved in there, more workers, they'll be able to either run multiple or you can focus on one type of mission. So as far as the cycle goes within the game, your goal is to go ahead and get as high on the leaderboards as possible. This is just the leaderboards. You can see here that they have seasonal, they have weekly leaderboards, even daily leaderboards that give you rewards, and then they have limited time leaderboards. We're going to focus on the seasonal. If you want to go ahead and play the game and get as high as possible on the leaderboards, you're going to go ahead and need to get as much reputation as possible. So the cycle essentially is going to be you need life force that converts into FGL. You use FGL to go ahead and run encounters. Encounters gives you reputation, plus it gives you coin and more mechas. And then you go ahead and run those mechas or virtual mechas for more life force. And it goes in that cycle, that circle that's going to continue to progress you through the game itself. The more options you have, the more FGL, the more life force, the more coins you get, the faster you'll get that reputation and the higher you'll be on the leaderboard. And if you do really well, even I'm going to say top 25, you can see I'm hanging here on 22, you get some rewards, and the rewards continue to grow as the more FGL is actually used within the game itself. Usually we get up to 9 or 10 tier, which gives you a decent reward, especially if you're able to get one of those pro setups and get in the hires. But let's go ahead and quick show you as far as let's run an encounter. I'm not going to show you the full encounter because it does take a little bit of time. There's two types of encounters here. The normal encounter, that's what's going to go ahead and give you the coins, the tokens, the virtual mechas, the gears, all the things that you need for the main part of the game. Then there's the robot encounters. Remember, those are the ones that the quits run. They give you, essentially, they give you the artifacts that allow you to level up different parts of the game and allows you to just be more effective throughout the game. We'll take a quick look at the normal ones. I'm just going to let's do a simple one here just to show you how it all works. If you want to learn about all the details of this, you can go ahead and jump into some of the videos that I have, but we're going to go, say, level 10. This is going to be the basic setup, and we're going to go ahead and throw in our normal approach. Again, not going to walk through all the details of that, but just want to kind of show you the gameplay. This is the part that you're not able to play on your cell phone, or if you can play on your cell phone, it's a challenge. But essentially what you're going to do is you're going to try and work from where you are here all the way over to the crown in order to complete. And on the way there, you're going to get different rewards. You got the tokens here. You're going to go ahead and have virtual mechas here. There are no gears on the board and ores and so forth. And you get some rewards for the actual final thing itself. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to click on the coins. And then what your goal is to go ahead here and do is beat all of the different enemies that are coming in here. There's enemy ships that are coming here to try and attack you and take over your spot. And if they beat you, obviously the round is over and you don't get any rewards. This is a low level for me, so I'm going to go through it, like I said, pretty quickly. Each stage that you beat, you're going to get some rewards for it. And then if you go ahead and get all the way to the end, you're going to go ahead and get some major, I don't want to say major rewards, but you'll get multiples of rewards just for going ahead and completing the overall mission encounter itself. You can see I went ahead and got some virtual mechas. Actually, I'm sorry, that was ores. The next one's virtual mechas. So we'll go ahead and virtual mechas, you go ahead and see I got 8 there, and we'll just quickly finish this up there, and I'll show you what you actually do with that to continue with the life cycle. And I keep saying that this is really a simplified version because it's a lot lower level than I normally would. Normally in this case, I'd probably clear out all these to get as many rewards as possible. But that's just what we're going to do for the video right now. Go through it as quickly as possible. And once you're done, there we go. We just finished. We just beat the last guy. The Overseer was in here, which I forgot to point out when he was alive. And when you go ahead, I've earned 150 million coins. I've earned 126,000 ore, some virtual mechas, some tickets, and some reputation. That reputation, if you keep building on that reputation, that's what's going to get you higher than the leaderboard. These virtual mechas and these tokens, you go ahead and the next step in the life cycle is going over to one of the planets and going ahead and mining for life force. We're going to go ahead and use the #1 planet of all time, the Warrior Lion planet. And essentially what you're going to do here is you're going to send your virtual mechas, and if you have any mechas yourself, you can go ahead and send them, and they're going to go ahead and start mining the life force that's out there. It does take some time depending on how busy the planet is and depending on how many coins you have. You go ahead and send them out there, and they're just going to mine, and they mine passively. So you don't have to sit there and watch them. You send them there. You can go do other stuff within the game itself. And down here, you're going to see this is the life force that's going to start going up. Once you have a certain amount of life force, you go to the FBX system, and you go ahead and stake it. And then every day, that is going to turn into FGL. And then the FGL, you can go ahead and use more encounters. That's the basic life cycle of the game. I know I'm probably draining on here longer than I should have, but I have full other videos for this game that breaks down every little area, the daily bounties, the other missions, the companions, the traits, the planets. There's a lot of different pieces to this game. I just showed you the basic life cycle of how you're going to continue to progress through the game, but there's a lot of other options within the game that you can go ahead and take a look at in a lot more detail, either by going ahead and playing yourself or checking out some of the other videos that are out there. Now let's talk about rating for the game. Pros and cons. What do I personally think about the game? Please understand that this rating is focused on entertainment value. This is not focused on ROI. This is not focused on anything other than my personal opinion about how fun this game is and how entertaining this game is compared to other games that are on the Wax blockchain and in some cases other blockchains themselves. So please understand that as we flip over here to the rating itself. You can see I went ahead and gave Outlaw Troopers 4 stars with the potential to go ahead and get a much better ranking as they continue to develop. It is a very, very solid seasonal strategy game that you can go ahead and play in the Wax blockchain. You can go ahead and get started at a reasonable price, That's up to you depending on your situation, but there's a lot of potential, not only within the game of Outlaw Troopers itself, but the overall FGL network and how they connect in between other games. Like I said, some of the NFTs that we have in Outlaw Troopers work in other games, and some of the NFTs in other games work in Outlaw Troopers. That gives it a lot more potential than just a one-off game that's out there. Also, like I said, it's just an overall well-rounded game that allows new players to really get into it and familiar with the game. You can go ahead and start even on an even playing field with every other player other than, say, NFTs itself at the beginning of every single season, which is nice. It's also one of the cons, because if you get into the game and you're in like your 4th season, you got to start over again when you go into your 5th season. So that's why I kind of put that as one of the pros and one of the cons. It's great for starters to go ahead and have an equal playing field with everyone else. But if you're a grinder and you're in there quite a bit, it can also be a bit of a con. Also, from a con perspective, I showed you the different setups. If someone's a whale and they jump into the game with some top tier NFTs, they're automatically going to have a better chance at getting in the higher leaderboard than everyone else. Doesn't mean you can't have fun. Doesn't mean you can't play. Doesn't mean you can't just enjoy the game itself. It just means you're a little bit less of a chance because of the whale perspective. And last but not least, as far as one of the pros go, I've mentioned this a number of times. This is brought to us by FGL. It's one of the strongest studios on Wax, and they are expanding to other blockchains. I've told you early in this video, right now, the game is only on Wax, but it is expanding to other blockchains. So the overall FGL studio is going to become, in my personal opinion, one of the powerhouses on just, especially with Wax, with all the games that they're working with and all the different things that they're developing. It gives it a strong backing behind the game itself. So again, I rate this 4 out of 5 stars with the potential of getting up to 5 stars as they continue to develop. Please let me know if you have any questions or any concerns or any other how-to videos that you would like to see as part of this game. Happy to put those together for you down in the comments. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.